All right, so this is just a accountability video about my recent Spanish practice and progress. So I was given an assignment by my tutor to make this little short essay about my future goals, and I'm gonna read it on video, explain my thinking and certain corrections I made. So, escribe un pequeño texto en español sobre cómo imaginas que será tu futuro. Tendrás hijos, te casarás, habla sobre tus planes, sueños y expectativas para el futuro. Escribe un texto de entre 50 y 200 palabras. Sí, yo tendré. Okay, this is my text. I'm gonna read. I'm gonna show you where I was unsure and I was correct to be unsure, and I'm gonna show you the corrections. These are probably common mistakes, so we're gonna get into these. Sí, yo tendré una fuerte y personalidad tan fuerte que una persona no podrá lo creer. Habrá tenido construido una vida flexible en muchos aspectos como mi salud con el comportamiento de ejercicio todos los días. Habrá tenido guardado todo mi dinero extra y tendrá una persona que me gustó mucho con amar y tranquilidad y un hogar lleno de personas y amigos que fijarse en paz y estabilidad, porque la paz es lo más importante. Me gustan mucho cosas de cualidad, entonces tendré que trabajar mucho y duro y mudarme con mucha disciplina. Quiero que aprenderé a menos de 3 idiomas nuevas y viajar por el mundo y encajar con culturas distintas de mi propio. Qué fantástico será una vida de muchas experiencias varias, con la mente abierta y fluido, con el dispuesto fuerte. Cualquier cosa es posible. Es sobre el paso corto, vista larga. Um, so before I actually get into the mistakes and corrections, I'm gonna try to remember them myself and recall them myself. So yo tendré una fuerte. I was trying to say I will have a strength. Um, fuerte es strong. It's an adjective, a descriptor of something else. To say the noun of strength, it's fuerza. Fuerza. I'm gonna submit this to my tutor, but I'm not gonna make the corrections so he can correct me so I can get corrected twice. But the correct way to say this would be yo tendré una fuerza y personalidad tan fuerte, tan strong. Um Here, no podré lo creer. You would say no podrá creerlo because the pronoun goes before or after the verb conjugations. And if there's multiple verbs next to each other, Spanish treats that entire verb amalgamation like one block. So you'd put no lo podrá creer, or you'd put no podrá creerlo, would be the correct way to say this. And then, habrá tenido construido una vida flexible. What I messed up is I was doing a literal translation in my head of what I thought should happen, forgetting that haber, when translated to English, means literally having something, not having as a possession, but having done or having done something else, right? So I try to translate directly to English by saying having had constructed, when in Spanish, the way to say that is just to use the actual verb that you're trying to say, not adding tenido in between it to have a direct English translation. So this would be habrá construido with no habré. This is also incorrect because it's in the wrong tense. It's in third person. Habré construido una vida flexible en muchos aspectos con mi salud, con with behavior of exercise todos los días. El comportamiento de ejercicio todos los días habrá tenido. I did the same thing here. This is also a mistake. Habrá guardado todo mi dinero extra y tendré una persona que me gusta mucho con amor, amar y tranquilidad. Y un hogar llena de personas y amigos que fijarse en paz y estabilidad, porque la paz es lo más importante. Me gustan mucho cosas de calidad. Entonces tendré que trabajar mucho y duro y mudarme. One cool thing I learned here about mudar y mover, I never knew the difference. Mudar is about physically moving your physical address or physical where you live, like a country or something, to live there. Mover is about moving yourself physically or mentally in this case. So moverme is a much better option in this specific context. Con mucha disciplina. Quiero que aprenderé a menos de 3 idiomas. I was wrong here. A menos de means to less than. To say at least in Spanish, quiero que aprenderé, that I will learn at least, al menos, or por lo menos. I chose al menos as the translation that I use consistently because it's the simplest one. But I'll try to remember por lo menos en el futuro o para el futuro. Así que mi español va a mejorar. Quiero que aprender al menos 3 idiomas nuevas y viajar por el mundo y canjar con culturas distintas de mi propio. I threw this word in here. It means to fit in because I'm reading a book by something Oliver. This guy, short stories in Spanish by, I'll find it. Something Oliver. And, yeah. 3 idiomas nuevas y viajar por el mundo y encajar con culturas distintas de mi propio. Qué fantástico ser una vida de muchas experiencias varias con la mente abierta y fluido con el dispuesto fuerte. Cualquier cosa es posible, es sobre el paso corto y vista larga. All right, these are the corrections I'm telling you about. I'm just making sure I said them correctly. We can go over them again. And then after that, we're going to tell you or show what I did with the learning certain parts of Spanish grammar where I won't make these kind of mistakes again. Fuerte, fuerza, because fuerte is an adjective that means strong, and fuerte means strength. Incorrect here. This just tells you it's incorrect. This tells you about, again, abre is the first person, habrá is third person, and you just use the verb that you're going after because habré already indicates having constructed. It already indicates that in the future sense. Habré. Mudar again is for moving homes. Moverme is for moving yourself. A menos de just wasn't correct. Dispuesto, fuerte. Dispuesto is a word meaning willingness. And voluntad means will. So one is a descriptor and one is a thing. And then we're gonna go to what really helped me with these situations. A single conjugated verb, when you only have one working verb in the clause, you have 0 choices. So if you say yo lo veo, it comes before the conjugated verb. Yo lo veo, I see it. Yo lo veo, there's only one verb there, you know where it goes. Compound verb phrase, this is where I was saying in explaining earlier, if you have a bunch of connected verbs that kind of share the meaning because they're connected, um, then you put it before or after the entire thing, or two infinitives, like they're explaining here. I'll read it out. This is where you got tripped up. Poder creer. This is from AI. I'm just letting you know. When you have a conjugated verb directly tied to an infinitive like creer hacer or ir a comer, poder creer, Spanish treats those verbs like one solid block. This is very useful to learn. This is very cool. The a in ba entender acts as a permanent linkage between the two verbs. When you have structures built with connectors like ir, tener que, having to, acabar, just, to have just. Spanish treats the whole assembly like one single operational system. So lo or la comes before or after that system, which is very, very cool. And that is what I learned today. That's what I worked on. I actually recorded an hour and a half of Spanish today, but it got deleted. This is the final video. This is some of the work I did, ending up to it. And we're gonna do that. Then we're gonna record a tutor session I got today, and we're gonna hope everything goes well. Thank you so much, guys. And we are gonna stay motivated. We're gonna stay driven. My videos aren't spicy. My videos aren't glamorous. My videos are just me doing the work, and that's what it is. Um, so yeah, thank you guys. This is proof of work. No crypto, baby.